At the same time, the vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind.
Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Could you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know. $7 million for reef fish management, $25 billion to combat Asian carp, $2.5 billion to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico, $7 million for reef fish management, $25 billion to combat Asian carp, $2.5 billion to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico. $7 million for reef fish management, $70 million to combat fish Asian management, $25 billion to combat the number of amberjack fish, $7 million to count the number of $7 million, $25 billion to combat Asian, $25 billion to combat Asian, count the number of $25 billion to combat the number of amberjack fish, $7 million to count the number of $7 million, $25 billion to combat Asian, $7 million for $2.5 million to count the number of $25 billion to combat Asian carp, $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
I don't wear a mask like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen.
And this is just the beginning of America First.
At the same time, The vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind.
Hello, users, and welcome to the show. How's it going? I am still drinking coffee. So, I am tired. I only slept like 4 or 5 hours. Hi. So I'm here. I'm alive. I am tired. So, please bear the fuck with me. Just do it. Just, just. I have something that'll wake everyone up. Hold up. I'll have something that will wake everyone up. Is Catherine in the chat?
Watch Hillary examine the terrain. Watch a campaign with the man Tim Kaine. Tim Kaine in the membrane. Tim Kaine in the brain.
There we go. I'm wide awake. All right. Woo! Okay. Let's get this show on the road. So hopefully everyone's been enjoying the program recently. Yesterday, I said that I would be posting a survey. The only reason that Megan McCain got the vaccine, she is more... Oh, no. Oh, no. Can you send that to me? DM that to me on Twitter, please. So, yesterday I said I would do a 2021 end-of-year survey. And, so I've got it. It's here. I exist. Or rather, it exists. So I just wrote a quick survey. You can fill it out however you want. I'm going to post the link in the chat and in the description to the video graphic uploads. Where's Max? Max is on the floor. He's a dog on the floor. Look at that. Max! Woo-ah! There he is. But so, feel free to fill out the... This way, Maxie. This way. Come on. He is not interested. He wants to be right there. So, if y'all want to fill that out, I'm, just mostly interested in what y'all like about the show, what the strengths are, what the weaknesses are, how you found me, that kind of stuff. Trying to get some demographics, I want to know what, the gender demographic is, so. And I turned off all the email collection, so it's anonymous if you want it to be. Folks, there's a dog right behind me. Look at that. Look at this. He's a naked dog. Yeah, because it's like fucking 25 degrees, out in December. It's fucked up. Can you hear that? Is that audible? We've got a naked doggy, folks. You'll notice, maybe, that Max's head was on the blanket like a pillow. He's upside down. We have an upside down doggy. So everyone, feel free to fill out that form. I would appreciate it, Be as, you can use whatever. a name I would know by. So if your name is Sinquill, right, and your in real life name is Jeff, I don't know what your name is, right? I'll be like, who the fuck is Jeff? So there you go. And so yeah. Well, there you go. I specifically lol at you trashing Americans' diets. Oh, don't you worry about that. That's going to be coming up today. Alright, I'll read the rest of that later. So, thank you. But anyway, I'm just trying to collect some info. I want to know how I'm doing here. We need some review process. Can't look at the likes and dislikes anymore because YouTube, big tech, censored people's voices. Their free speech got disabled, and we can no longer dislike videos on this channel. So I need some form of data collection. 95% of Americans can't eat vegetables. I will never get over that. Like, I hope y'all understand. I will be like 47 years old. I will be talking about 95% of Americans that don't eat vegetables. Like, I hope that y'all understand. So, let's start with some good news, huh? Potatoes are vegetables, that's true. Bread tube is code for the 95%. They just eat tubes of bread. That's all they know how to eat. I've still got, like, minor congestion, folks. Like, I don't know if I had COVID. I might have. I hope I didn't. I don't know. Still got it. Like, this is, it's a little disconcerting, but... Is it disconcerting? Disconcerting? Is it disconcerting? Ugh. Ugh, fuck. Andrea is on the Nomiki show, best of 2021. I don't think I went on in 2021. I'm pretty sure I went on like December 30th of 2020. And then I didn't go back on. So, send me a link. All right, folks, let's talk about some good news, huh? That's right, folks. Officer down! Officer down. All right, so one officer dead! Dead! Gone! Dead! Hold up. Hold up, hold up. Let me get you the appropriate, Here we go.
You're dying. That's true. And it is what it is.
Officer down, folks. And a second in critical condition after a shooting at an Illinois hotel, police say. So, folks, officers down. Actually, it's multiple officers. And so one of two Illinois police officers shot Wednesday after they responded to a call about dogs barking. Oh, wow. I mean, the dogs were barking. Like, it's not like that's what dogs do or anything. The Bradley Police Department said in a news release. I know a dog named Bradley. He's very cute. All right. The second officer is in critical condition was undergoing surgery. The police department said the names of the officers has not been released. That's a shame. Police responded to a comfort inn after a report of dogs barking at an unattended vehicle, which was parked in the parking lot, the news release said. Upon arrival, officers located a vehicle in a room inside the hotel where the possible owner of the vehicle was staying. Officers initiated a conversation with the subjects in the room, and while during the conversation, the officers were attacked by the subjects occupying the room. Both officers were shot! Police said they were looking for at least 2 people. An arrest warrant had been issued for Darius D. Sullivan in connection with the case. The news, blah, blah, blah. I don't give a shit. Bradley is around 60 miles south of Chicago. Who cares about that? Like, imagine that's news. I mean, I guess it's on CNN, so it's national, but it's like, who cares where Bradley is? Like, yeah, it's 60 miles south of Chicago. Oh, okay. That explains a lot. No, what? It doesn't. Anyway. Yeah, imagine, like, the last thing you see in your life is a barking doggy. Honestly, that's pretty good. But yeah, so folks, officers down. We'll see what happens with the other one. I probably won't do a follow-up, so we'll just say, 1.5 officers down. Shot! There you go. All right. Speaking of officers and how bad they are. It's an easy, fast dollar. How organized retail theft rings in one Ohio town use Facebook Marketplace to sell stolen goods. So, I just want to start off by saying I am not endorsing anything. I am not advocating for anything. I am not recommending anything. I am a podcaster who covers news and things adjacent to politics. And so this was in the news. So it's an easy, fast dollar. We know that there is a pandemic going on. There's a labor shortage. The economy's crashing. There's an economic depression, the likes of which we've never seen. We've just reached new coronavirus cases, right? So it's like, all right, it's a fast dollar, So let's check this out. One thief said he made $2,500 a day stealing power tools before he was arrested. You make more money than you do selling drugs, and it's less jail time? Yo.
In, there weren't the extra songs.
The season of giving winds down. The season of returning is just getting started.
I'm returning a lot.
But for many retailers, processing those unwanted items can cost 2/3 of their original price when factoring in labor, transportation, and the warehouse space to stash all that stuff, especially as our nation faces supply chain issues. Experts say that's why some retailers like Target, Amazon, and Walmart might offer loyal customers a little-known option: get a refund, but keep the goods.
The cost of reverse shipping merchandise that customers no longer want to keep often far exceeds the value of that merchandise in the first place.
But experts say don't count on...
Think about this. If I'm buying a new purse for $50, let's say, right? And it's not worth the $3 in shipping to send back, maybe... just maybe, I shouldn't have been spending that much money on that stupid bullshit from the jump. You ever think about how most of this shit, costs $2 to make? Like, the materials to make clothes cost fucking $3 to make, and they're manufactured with sweatshop labor, with child labor, and slave labor. Right? Then you buy them for $30, $40, $50. You ever think about that? Because I do. But anyway...
keeping high-priced items. The policies apply on a case-by-case basis to smaller, lower-cost goods like clothes, household items, or toys. Music lover Emily Del Grosso was surprised to get her...
Music lover. I love that, she's the music lover. Is Andrew Kohler in the chat? The doctorate of musicology in the chat? We got a music lover, so check this out.
Her money back on an album she bought.
I had heard that Target had an exclusive vinyl with specific songs. Once it finally came in, there weren't the extra songs on it, so it wasn't as described.
She says Target issued her a full refund, advising her to donate, recycle, or keep the item.
It caught me off guard, but I was happy with it because I got my money and a product.
Policies like these are not guaranteed, though, so check store return rules online, in the apps, or call customer service.
They may take it back, they may not. But for customers shouldn't go in to this thinking, oh, well, we'll be able to keep this.
So it seems that this video is completely unrelated to the actual article, but, you know, I'm sharing that anyway. So buy some toys for Christmas, even though Christmas was last week. And then, well, so did you buy toys? Return them. Your kid doesn't like them. And then you get to keep the toys, and then you get the money. And so, anyway, I'm going to share that with you. But apparently this video is completely unrelated. So let's just read the article too. He called himself Rick Nye, at least on Facebook Marketplace. His friendly profile picture featured a little girl giving him a hug. His page was filled with great deals. Deeply discounted power tools still in the box. Nye's social media presence was unremarkable for a man from this suburb just south of Toledo. He looked like just another guy who had extra equipment to offer. Like, what is this fucking description? Is this like the fucking synopsis like you read on, like, is this like a Netflix description for a horror film? He called himself Rick Nye. His friendly profile picture featured a little girl giving him a hug. Like, what the fuck? Someone wanted the Husqvarna chainsaw he had advertised for $250, nearly half off the sticker price at the nearby Lowe's. Nye agreed to meet his customer at the parking lot near the Beaumont Inn. The buyer got the chainsaw, and Nye drove off in his Ford F-150 with a fresh wad of bills. What is this? This is some storytelling, folks. There is some intense storytelling. Whoever wrote this article by Simone and Andrew Blanc, they're really like, they were like, all right, you know, I'm going to try to puff out my little creative writing skills a little bit. The next day, Nye, 44, was behind bars. He was eventually charged with helping to lead an organized crime ring that spanned Michigan and Ohio. He is now in state prison serving a 5-year sentence for his role in what police say is a growing illegal industry, massive organized retail theft, in which internet-savvy criminals shoplift pricey items from the shelves of big box retailers. They sell the loot on Facebook Marketplace and similar sites. It's big money, said Detective Sergeant Todd Curtis of the... We're not going to put up with it. We're not going to tolerate it. Folks, I want to let you know, again, I'm not endorsing anything. Look at this fucking prick, by the way. Look at this guy. Detective Sergeant Todd Curtis of the Perrysburg Township Police Department holds a stolen husband that he bought undercover from Richard Nye. Like, folks, you ever wonder why someone would steal? Think about this. We live in a world where you need money to live. You need money to eat food. You need money to stay warm in the winter. You need money to buy medicine. You need money to buy clothes. You need money to buy shelter. We are living in a historic economic depression, right? There's a pandemic going on. You ever wonder why people would need money? I would like to remind everyone, these stores steal more from the American people than anyone could ever possibly steal with Facebook Marketplace. If you look at wage theft, employers, like, if their worker is, you know, their minimum wage is $7.25, right? So, let's say sometimes your average wage will be $6.73. And it's on you to check your pay stubs and to calculate taxes and make sure you're getting paid properly. But a lot of the time, you're not. And a lot of the time, people don't look at their pay stubs and they realize, or they don't realize, that they're being taken advantage of. Wage theft is one of the biggest areas of theft in the United States of America. Now let's talk about taxation. these corporations pay, in a lot of instances, negative tax rates because they get subsidies and tax breaks because of their status as big sellers. So they get paid to start up these organized wage theft rings, and then no one gets held accountable. Right? So I'm just saying, like, I have no problem with someone who steals. I have no problem with someone who goes somewhere. I mean, personally, buying a chainsaw might be, you know, that it's, I don't know how you're going to steal a chainsaw, right? Like, steal some Yu-Gi-Oh cards or something, right? But I'm not endorsing it. Andrew Kohler, $5. What's the greater crime, robbing a bank or founding one? There you go. I can't read that guy's name, I'm sorry, but there you go. But again, the role of police is not to be moral arbiters and keep the peace and to uphold the fabric of society. The role of police are to protect the owners. And the owners have created a system in which they can steal from you, they can steal from your government, they can steal from your family, and they can get away with it. Why did they create that system, and how did they create that system? Well, because they bought all the politicians. And the politicians changed the laws and the rules, and they bought the police, and they enforced the laws and the rules that have been changed by the politicians, so that only poor criminals get held accountable. If you're a rich criminal, you're not a criminal. You're just doing your job. You're just called business as usual. It depends on your income bracket. You can do the same amount of crime, the same style of crime. All it depends is how much money you can steal. If you can meet a certain threshold, you're fine. You're a CEO. You're a business executive. If you don't meet that threshold, you're a low-level thief. You're an organized criminal. Curtis is one of the trio of investigators, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. That's being overlooked. Law enforcement officials say big tech, and what big tech watchdogs say is the role of online resale sites play in the surge. I don't care. Before the world was wired, people who resold items, stolen or not, usually had to use their names or show their faces. They bought classified ads in the newspaper, blah, blah, blah. The internet changed everything. Okay, in recent years, the spokesperson, yeah, e-commerce sites, okay, whatever. Anyway, you get the gist. People buy shit or steal shit and then sell it online. That's the gist. And cops, of course they're going to uphold capital. So fuck cops. I'm not advocating to break the law. And if you do, don't get caught. And if you got caught, it's not my problem. But anyway, just wanted to talk about that. Folks, I only slept like 5 hours. Like probably less than that, honestly. So I am losing it right now. I am losing it. Just wanted to share that. Folks, if you neglected to be in the show stream earlier, I yesterday announced that I was going to do a 2021 year-end Above It All survey. 2021 was the year of Above It All, folks. And what a goddamn year it was. There's a lot of things that happened on this show this year that were not planned. Some were planned. And so if you want to fill out the survey to, just kind of, let me know how you're feeling, what your likes, dislikes are. I want to get some demographic information. Please feel free to fill out the Google form. It's not public. The responses are not public. So only I will see them. And so that's kind of the idea. So, if you want to tell me anything, there you go. There's an option for you. I would appreciate it if everyone watching or who watches would fill that out. That would, it also, honestly, the total amount of responses will tell me, you know, what's the total viewer base here? Like, what do we got? You know, I average 40 to 50 per stream, right? But maybe I'll get 70 replies. So it's like, you know, what's the total pool here? What kind of pool are we swimming in? Yu-Gi-Oh! Very good. Anyone who has tried Yu-Gi-Oh! And does not like it is a loser. I don't know. I don't make the rules. I do not make the rules. Just gonna post it again one more time. All right. So here's a follow-up, folks. So the other day, in fact, let me do this a little bit better. Hold up. Let me get the video. So the other day I made a video that a 3-year-old shot herself, quote unquote, and the parents asked for prayers and did a GoFundMe. So, okay, so let's recap this. Now, again, there's a new update here, and this is on the New York Post. The child, dead. The parents killed her. That's murder in the first degree. It's not manslaughter. It wasn't an accident. If you buy a gun and you leave the gun out and the kid kills themselves, that is premeditated murder. That's like feeding someone poison. That's like cooking them a meal and putting poison in it. It is premeditated murder. But anyway, so I covered this a couple days ago. In fact, let's check out the original GoFundMe if we can. $18,000. So let's get this straight. These parents murdered their child and they profited off of it. That's not a bad deal. About $20K, that's like a year's salary. All you got to do is have a kid, wait until they're 3, you know, get a little cute, and then shoot them in the fucking face, murder them, and then you get a year's salary. That's not bad. But this is American culture, folks. This is American culture. Parents can leave guns out and kids can kill themselves and there's no charges. No one cares. Oh, she accidentally shot herself. Oh. And the New York Post is just going to treat this like, oh, what a tragedy. What an accident of nature. Wait, whoa. New detail. Hold the phone. This was not in the original article. The fucking parents were cops! Are you joking? Are you joking? The parents were cops! Mysteriously, that was not in the original article, which I have right here. The family of a 3-year-old, blah, blah, blah. The girl named Ailey, blah, blah, blah. As you can see in the fundraiser. Is there any mention of sheriff? Let's control F. No. Let's control F. Cop. Police. Retired. Nope. No mention. No mention. Wow, so thank you, New York Post, for that one. Wow. Accessed a gun in the car of a holiday visitor to the family's rural Edneyville home. She picked it up and it went off. So it's the car of a holiday visitor. So let me get this straight. There's a pandemic going on. You're having holiday visitors. Your 3-year-old is like wandering outside the house. Let me get this understand. Let me understand this. Okay. So someone drives up, presumably parks, gets out of the car, enters your house. So they have a gun in their car for some reason. Your 3-year-old walks out of the house, opens the doors, 3-year-old opens the doors, walks around, opens a car door somehow. Did they not lock the car? So they opened the car door. Where was the gun? Presumably in the glove compartment, right? Was it on the seat? Did they just leave their gun on the seat? I don't buy it. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. I don't believe this. I call bullshit. She picked it up and it went off, her father reportedly said. So did they say that, or did they reportedly say that? Investigators reportedly were weighing possible criminal charges. Yes, do it. They won't, because they're cops. There was another story in North Carolina where a police officer shot their son in the head on accident. This is another story where North Carolina, retired police officer, again, a 3-year-old, opened doors to the home, wandered outside, opened a presumably unlocked car, opened some other, thing in the fucking car, accessed the gun. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. There is not a single bone in my body that believes this story, especially when you have a $20,000 GoFundMe. This seems like a way to make money. This seems like they regretted having a kid. This seems like a post-birth abortion that they could profit off of. Where's the pro-life crowd? Anyone? Where's the pro-life crowd? It was an accident. Oh, no. Leaving guns out where 3-year-olds can access them. That's not an accident. That's like if you give Legos to a 3-year-old and they swallow them and choke. You know how they've got the not, dangerous for under 3? That's not an accident. You gave them something that you knew ahead of time, and if you didn't, then that's, criminal negligence. You knew ahead of time that they could choke on it. They choked on it. They died. That's not an accident. Oh, a horrible accident. Oh, no. Oh. That's not an accident. This is money laundering. This is profiting from killing your children. All cops are bastards. They murdered their child. End of story. I don't buy a fucking second of that shit. Oh no. Folks, I guess we're talking about guns today. Ohio and Columbus. 16-year-old girl mistaken for intruder fatally shot by father. Okay. So, the dad went crazy and murdered their child. Alternative headline: crazy gun nut lunatic went nuts, murdered their child in bizarre rage. Police said they received a call around 4:30 saying that someone inside the home had shot at what he believed to be someone breaking in after the house security system was activated. The 911 call obtained by the dispatch was made by the mother of the 16-year-old, who said the teen had been shot in the garage by her father, who believed she was an intruder. This is what happens when you have a gun culture. This is what happens when the solution to everything is a gun. This is what happens when you allow people that have no training, no experience in firearms. You just let them have whatever they want. Did they say, freeze? Who are you? Why are you here? No. Shoot first, ask questions later. Shoot your child in the fucking face, murder them, and then turn the light on, watch the blood pool around their dead body, and then ask them if they're an intruder? This is what happens when you give guns to stupid people. I know, I'm going to bring in some somewhat irrelevant statistics, but hear me out. 45% of Americans pray on a daily basis. They're dumb. They're insane. So, are you seriously going to give someone a gun who believes that Jesus is watching them jerk off and that angels are hovering over them, looking out for them? You're going to give that person a gun? They're crazy. They're insane. 95% of Americans don't eat vegetables. Look it up. Look up the fiber statistics in America. What's in vegetables? Fiber. You're going to give people that believe in invisible aliens watching over them every day, who don't know how to feed themselves, you're going to give them unrestricted access to firearms. Hairston's father can be heard on the call, which lasts more than 8 minutes, distraught and asking what his daughter is doing. Both parents are heard begging for the girl to wake up. Hairston's social media profile reflects that of a typical teenage girl with numerous selfies and other photographs showing her smiling. Several posts show her discussing getting a job and trying to decide whether she should stay close to home or go away further for college. Folks, it's fine if you are very heavily trained in guns and you've got a weapon for self-defense, you know how to use it, right? You know when to use it. That's one thing. But in the United States of America, no one has those trainings. No one has those faculties about them. When you hear someone downstairs getting a fucking drink of water and your first reaction is, oh shit, let me get my gun and kill them, you are mentally ill. You are crazy. You are insane. That is not how a normal person behaves. Now, if you live by yourself, and you hear that, that's one thing. The motherfucker has a family. The motherfucker's got a wife and a kid. It's crazy shit. That's crazy shit. Motherfucker needs to go to jail. Take the guns away, motherfucker. Take the goddamn guns away from the cops, from the dumb fucks. Take the guns away. We don't need them. Kind of blown away. Andrea makes literally the same points every single day. I mean, I'm doing a daily show. I don't know what to tell you. If you don't like that, maybe you do, feel free to fill out the Google form. The Above It All 2021 survey. Year-end survey, folks. Hit it up. I am going to talk about the Denver shooting, but I want to wait for more details first. I've been monitoring that one. But I want to wait for some more details on that one. Because there's a lot coming out. Like, Eric Weinstein, whatever, was apparently contacted by the Denver shooter. Andy No was contacted by the Denver shooter. Right, so I want to do a little bit of a deep dive, but I'm waiting for more info on that. What are my thoughts on Lindsay Ellis getting canceled? I don't know who Lindsay Ellis is. I'd never heard of them before the stuff went trending on Twitter. I looked into the whole situation, and apparently she compared two cartoons. And I'm going to be honest. When I looked into the situation and I saw that the offending material was that she compared cartoons, I kept looking. Because I thought that was like I had no idea that was the actual I had no idea that was the actual offense, was that she compared two cartoons. Right, so I kept looking and I didn't find anything else. And then I realized, wait, no, that was the offense. She compared cartoons. I think anyone that claims that comparing cartoons is racist is dumb. I think they're stupid. The other accusation I heard was that she used GIFs on Twitter that it contained black people, and that's racist somehow. To me, it seems like just a bunch of people with too much time on their hands. So? It seems like the same kind of people that, like, you know, they just spend all day, every day just trying to tear people down because it's entertaining. Like, it's, you know, and I have a lot of experience with this one, right? Like, you can get a rush of dopamine when you expose someone online, right? And then when you expose someone who's more popular than you, what that happens is you basically just piggyback off of their popularity, right? So, like, I'd never heard of Lindsay Ellis, but apparently they were pretty popular. So, like, oh, I can just make a thread, Lindsay Ellis exposed. People are going to see that and go like, oh my God. They're going to not look into it at all, and then they're going to retweet it, and then you get the dopamine rush of the retweets and the likes, and, you know, and then when people disagree with you, it's more dopamine. It's like, oh my God, people are disagreeing with me. I get to call more people racist. Right? That's just what social media does. Social media is horrible. It promotes atomization. It promotes people hating each other. It promotes irrational conversations. There's character limits, right? So you can never have like a full-fledged discussion. It promotes replying as soon as possible. It promotes, you know, attacking people. It's, you know, the quote tweet dunks. It's all a bunch of garbage. And then, of course, like, when you look at, like, you know, canceling, it's always people, like, several layers removed of context, right? So, like, there was a, like, Lana Wachowski got canceled, right? I remember when the Matrix 4 came out, and then there was these people that were saying Lana Wachowski is an evil racist, and they were, like, posting this, like, article that, like, paraphrased something that Lana Wachowski said, right? So, like, and that was, like, that had thousands of retweets, right? So I'm like, okay. So, like, there was this article that claimed that Lana Wachowski blamed black people for anti-trans legislation, right? And then, so I was like, okay, so let me find this article. I find the article, there's no quote. Okay, so then I have to find the actual quote, and then the quote's not even, it's a complete misrepresentation, right? But the thing with with social media, right, is you can spread things several layers removed from context, and no one's going to look them up. It's like every time you remove a layer of context, right? And it's like the same thing with Lindsay Ellis. Every time you remove a layer of context, right? There's going to be less and less people that get to the bottom of it. So, right? So you take, like, someone saying something, you misinterpret it, right? And then again, when Lindsay Ellis got canceled or whatever, like, I'd never heard of this person. So I was, like, trying to figure this out. Right? So people would send screenshots, not of Lindsay Ellis's tweets, but of people talking about how Lindsay Ellis's tweet was racist, right? And those got thousands of retweets. Okay. I'm like, okay, so Lindsay Ellis is racist, here's why, but where's the offending material? You look it up. I didn't even believe that was it, right? So, right, every time you remove a layer of context, less and less people will actually get to the bottom of something, right? And then it's also poisoning the well. Like, that's the other thing. Right? Like, people, like, I had never heard of Lindsay Ellis, right? So let's say I'd never heard of her, I didn't bother to look it up. And the first thing I hear about her is that she's racist because you called all Asian cartoons the same or something. That's not what she said. But, like, that would be my interpretation of Lindsay Ellis. I didn't know who that was. That's the first thing I hear about them. That's my first impression. The well has been poisoned. Right, so I'm the kind of person, right, because, I know how this kind of stuff works, right? I'm the kind of person that's going to investigate this kind of stuff, but most people don't. So people would see, oh, Lindsay Ellis is racist, and then they move on, right? And then let's say 3, 4, 6 months go by, someone brings up Lindsay Ellis, and then you go like, oh, the only thing I know about her is that she's racist. Huh? Right, like, and again, it's several layers removed of context, and that's what social media does. it promotes removing context, right? It's like a game of telephone. So let's say someone did do something bad, or let's say someone did do something a little, let's say that she, maybe her exact post and wording was not the best. Okay, you can criticize that. Right, but this whole binary thinking of either people are good or bad, right? The binary thinking is just so ridiculous to me. Thank you, DJ Elf. Jimmy Dore's performing in North Carolina. I'm looking for protesters. Where in North Carolina? Because I don't have a car, so if you... And also there's a pandemic going on, so factor that in. But again, like, I don't know, like the idea of like trying to put people into binary categories, to me, I don't believe in that at all. And again, like the way social media works is it promotes dishonesty, it promotes irrational thinking, it promotes quick thinking. Like, so again, you want to respond as soon as possible because you want to click send and you want to think, owned, right? That's the idea, right? You want to think to yourself, I just owned that guy. So you don't think rationally. You don't think, what's the whole thing? You're not writing an essay. It's not like, it's not like you ever had old school email exchanges where like you respond once a day. Right? You read the thing and you really interpret it and then you respond and then they take the rest of the day. That's not what Twitter is. That's not what Facebook is, right? It's all high-paced, fast-paced. You got to respond. You got to press send, right? You got to make the most obscene allegations possible. You got to paint people into binary categories, right? And then it makes well-reasoned criticism impossible, right? So Lindsay Ellis, maybe, could have worded that better, possibly. I personally don't give a shit, right? But she maybe could have. But all that valid criticism is destroyed because 99% of the well has been poisoned by people making a huge deal over it. Right? So, any possible growth and change that could have happened is going to be significantly less likely because it's almost impossible to, like, it's like the turd in the punch bowl, right? And so, now again, I know very well firsthand about how that kind of stuff works. I've said and done a lot of stupid things that, especially without context, look horrible. So, like, again, it's all about removing the layers of context. Right? You got to strip as much context out of things as possible. And every time the layers, right, are removed, it gets more and more and more impossible to find out what the actual truth is. Right? And so, like, you can do that with almost anyone, with almost anything. Raleigh, NC, that's like 4 hours away from me, man. It's not going to happen. 126, that's not going to happen. But yeah, I don't know, like, I don't think it's like a left-wing thing. I never understood that, like, the way social media operates, it's not a left-wing thing, it's not a right-wing thing with cancel culture. It's the problem with social media, because the right does it all the time. The right does that shit they do that more often, right? And the thing with Lindsay Ellis, that it seems, is that, like, someone, like, called her racist, right? And then the right wing was like, oh shit, they're going to call her racist. And then so they pounce on it. 99% of the time, when you see cancel culture happening, it's usually fueled by the right. Like with my particular instance, right? Right-wingers, right, literally have spent years and years and years stripping context, modifying things, right? Changing things up, publishing fake articles about me, right? And then if someone, looks that up and they don't bother to do the research, they're going to just believe it because disinformation is extremely powerful, right? And so, like, that happens all over the place. And it's usually fueled by the right. So? But again, it's a problem with social media. Like, social media promotes, like, you're doom scrolling. You're constantly moving past other things. You know, you don't really take the time to learn. You know, you just see that, you scroll, you see that, you scroll. You internalize this subconsciously, right? And then it promotes fighting, right? Again, you want to get the quick reply out. You want to get the big dunk. You want to quote tweet, big dunk. Yeah, that's right. You're bad person, dunk. Send tweet. Oh, I got a retweet. I got a like. I got 2 likes. Jimmy Dore is bad because he doesn't believe in science. He's an anti-vax moron. That's the only reason at all that you need to not like him. Like, I made a video yesterday about Jimmy Dore. He's garbage. And he's not anti-imperialist. That's not true at all. But anyway, like, social media is a virus. And most people that use social media do not realize that. Like, the only reason why I'm well aware that social media is a virus is because, you know, I've been using social media since I was a teenager, right? So I have a lot of experience. A lot of people just casually use it and they don't understand how it works. Like, it's a virus. Like, it destroys the way that your brain thinks. Also, Hugo, thank you for the $5. I appreciate that. Well, $5 Australian dollars. Who knows how much that's worth? But, yeah, I mean, I think social media is a problem. Absolutely. I mean, people don't know how to, like... And another thing, right? 99% of fights that happen online would not even be fights if you talked on the phone. Right? So again, think about how social media works with the several layers removed of context, right? So, like, you talk to someone in person. If you say some extremely offensive shit, you might get fucking punched in the face, right? So, okay, but then if, let's say you talk on the phone, you can say whatever you want without fear of physical attack, right? But then also, like, you're talking to the person. There's that, like, connection that you're on social media. It's just words on a screen. Right? There is no person. There's no, like, actual humanity. It's words on a screen. So social media is already, the context has been removed. And I see this a lot in, like, left-wing Twitter. Right? There's a lot of people that, like, you know, I log onto Twitter all day, and it's people that I know yelling at each other over stupid shit all the time. Yelling at each other over fucking garbage. Over absolute fucking garbage. People that used to be friends who, like, disagree about one minor topic and then, like, explode that disagreement, and instead of just fucking talking on the phone, they yell about it and then they make it public, right? And then they fucking do the dunks and then they do the subtweets and the quote tweet, and it's garbage. It's garbage. Like, social media breeds hatred of one another. It's garbage. It's trash. And again, 99% of people don't understand that, right? They're reacting. They're not being proactive. They're reacting, right? They see someone say something. They don't think about it, right? They're on autopilot, right? They're like, oh my God, got a dunk. I got a dunk. That's what it is for 99% of people that use social media. They're on autopilot. They don't have any internal monologue. They're not thinking like rational creatures. And this goes for everyone, even smart people, right? Like, I do it, so I notice it too. Like, I notice it too sometimes, right? Like, if I'm arguing with fucking stupid bigots or whatever, I get into the mindset where it's like, I just got to do one more dunk because it's fun. There's a dopamine rush when you're making fun of people, right? And then you start seeing all interactions through that lens, right? And it's just like, I don't know, man. So that's my opinion on Lindsay Ellis. Social media is bad. That's my takeaway. So I'll make that a segment. Hugo, I would love if you called into the show sometime or came on the show and we could have an audio conversation about why you're wrong. Jimmy Dore is a multi-millionaire. He is against medical science. He promotes things that kill people. He advocates against vaccination that kills people. He is personally responsible for the deaths of people because of his politics, right? He's a bad person. Like, and I know I just did a rant about how, like, it's not a binary thing. If Jimmy Dore were to, like, come out tomorrow with, like, a why I did what I did over the last 3 years video or something, and say that I was just trying to get money, and I made a lot of money from right-wingers, and now I'm gonna, like, spend, like, I've got $5 million that I got from being a right-winger for a couple years. I'm gonna distribute that locally with mutual aid. I'm gonna, like, you know, make a, like, if he were to do that, Jimmy Dore's a hero, right? But until that happens, we have to judge people by their behavior in the total form, right? Like, and that hasn't happened yet. Okay, so Hugo just gave me 2 super chats and they said the same thing, so that's great. $5. I'd love that, but I loaned my microphone to a friend. $5. I'd love that, but I loaned my microphone to a friend. That sounds like the dog ate your homework, but that's fine. Whenever you get the microphone back, let me know. Hi, Bodan. So, folks, if you haven't yet, fill out the Google form. Folks, okay, so this is a problem. I've got 44 viewers and 11 respondents. 11 respondents. Are you joking? Is this a joke? Is this a fucking joke? Only 11 people replied to the Google form? Go fuck yourself if you haven't replied. Fill out the fucking form. Takes like literally like 30 seconds. Fill out if you want to, if you're saving it to do it after the show because you don't like multitasking, that's fine. In fact, I'll help you out. Hold up. Hold up. All right, everyone. We're going to take a little bit of a break while people fill out the form. So, I'm just posting this in the chat real quick. If anyone wants to take a moment out of their busy schedule of sitting at home and watching the stream. Bodan, you will love 2022. That's all I'll say. So anyway, I hope you filled out the form. I got one more response in that time period. So anyway. Oh, we got 13. All right, folks. Thank you, thank you. I'll read these responses later. Again, these responses are private. So. Yo, what the fuck? Is this real? Folks, 2 in 1 day. Officer down! Man arrested in fatal shooting of Illinois sheriff's deputy after 2-state manhunt. Well, I guess they caught the guy, but officer down! Authorities arrested a Kentucky man Wednesday in connection with the fatal shooting of an Illinois sheriff's deputy, a two-state manhunt, and a series of carjackings, shootings, and robberies in Missouri. This motherfucker had like 4 stars on him. Holy shit, he was going on. The Illinois State Patrol said Ray Tate, 40, blah, 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 I don't care. A local law enforcement officer arrived to help deputy blah, 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 blah. Found Riley dead and his squad car missing. Ooh! Officer down. Look at this motherfucker. Wayne County Sheriff's Deputy Sean Riley was found dead after a traffic stop. Wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're telling me someone died at a traffic stop? Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers, folks. Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts on Chapo Trap House Virgil getting canceled. Okay, so I looked into this one extensively. My verdict, guilty. That's my verdict. Right? So there's actual people that exist that have messages, right, that are horrible, combined with the fact that he has disappeared for like 9 months or something, combined with the fact that Brianna Joy Gray blocks anyone who ever brings up Virgil's name ever. Guilty. That's my opinion. So, folks, Ghislaine Maxwell found guilty on 5 out of 6 counts on charges of sex trafficking. We all know that. Everyone knows that. But I want to give a little bit of a flashback moment. Let's watch.
Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison, and a lot.
I love Ghislaine.
Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison, and a lot of people want to know if she's going to turn in powerful people. And I know you've talked in the past about Prince Andrew, and you've criticized Bill Clinton's behavior. I'm wondering, do you feel that she's going to turn in powerful men? How do you see that working out?
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well, whatever it is. I don't know the situation with Prince Andrew. Just don't know. Not aware of it.
Anyone remember this? Anyone remember this? Yep. I just wanted to share that with you. Remember that time Donald Trump wished convicted sex trafficker and pedophile well? Remember? When Donald Trump sent a fucking convicted pedophile a get well soon card in the mail? Remember that? Fucking Ghislaine, folks. Ghislaine. Look at this. It's trending. Look at this. Check this out. It's trending right now. A lot going on. Yeah. What a freak. I have not seen any of that, Hugo. All right. That's pretty much the show for today, folks. Let's chill for a bit. Someone asked me earlier, what my plans are for New Year's. I'm gonna be going on a psychedelic adventure during the new year, so I'll keep y'all posted. I'll probably be a completely different person on January 1st, so that should be fun. So that's what I'm planning on doing. No, fill out the survey, your earliest convenience. In fact, I'm going to post it again. You know, I want to use this survey, one, as a way, you know, to know my community a little bit more. I want to, you know what people like, right? So that if someone likes a certain style of something that I don't do as much, then I don't know what, I'm sorry, I'm still waking up, folks. What did I say? Hold up. We have the power of instant replay. So that if someone likes a certain style of something that I don't do, so if someone likes something that I do, I could do it more. If I don't do it enough, if I do it a lot, maybe I'll do it even more. You know, I just want to know, like, going into the next year, what the content focuses should be. But I also want to say, you'll find out, I do have some things planned already, that are going to happen, and I will announce them on January 1st. So, if you like, I'm not even going to spoil it. I already spoiled it earlier when I was talking to Bodan, but I'm buying Blasphemous on the Nintendo Switch store. Have you played it? Is it good? I don't have a Nintendo Switch, so no. I only play PlayStation games and the occasional PC game. I am not a console gamer at all. Can you do a double survey? I don't know. Anyway, what's up, folks? We got a dog here. Check this out. Max! Max! Have y'all been enjoying the movie reviews? I brought those back. For those of you that don't know, a couple years ago, I did a series of movie reviews. So if you like those, you can I've done a lot of them. I mean, a lot of those videos are kind of old, so they might, you know, there'll be like a little bit of a different time period thing. But you know, I didn't watch a movie yesterday. Though I could review movies that I watched recently, you know, like a couple weeks ago maybe. So it's possible, you know, but anyway, but if y'all do like those, I do have a lot of those videos. Some of them are a little old, right? So I didn't think my Matrix review was in depth. Well, that was a joke review mostly. I thought Matrix 4 was excellent. That's my opinion. But yeah, so it's, you know, it's a thing. Ooh. I did not watch Dune. I know Dune is popular, but I don't know the source material. I have no connection to it. Did I watch The Witcher? No. Folks, I am starving. I didn't eat dinner last night. And I woke up at like 9:30. Thoughts on Nancy Reagan being a throat goat? Well, first of all, there's no such thing as a throat goat. GOAT stands for the greatest of all time. So, you can't be a throat goat. You have to be the throat goat. And I just want to say that, I disagree. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I disagree. So, now, she may have been very good for her time, but I disagree. Let's just leave it at that. I disagree. And let's just leave it at that. But yeah, folks, tomorrow is the last show of the year. So, are there any indie games I recommend? Yes. There are. Which platform? I watched it on HBO Max. Throat technology is vastly improved since then. That's correct. No show tomorrow? No, I'm doing a show tomorrow. You should definitely consider that, Environmental Coffee House. If I had farmland, Was 2021 better than 2020 or worse? I mean, as far as the overall world, worse. As far as my personal life, I don't know. I mean, like, there's a lot of good and a lot of bad, right? Like, so it's like, it's a very, it's hard to say. Like, 2020 for me was like kind of like a stasis chamber. 2021, there's a lot of experience, A lot of experience. A lot of good, a lot of bad. But, I don't know. Anything could happen tomorrow, too. So it's like, I could get shot tomorrow, and then 2021 would definitely be worse, so it's possible. I love how Andrea is so precise about the meaning of words. I do love language. I'm a fan of language. Language is good. I love to be precise. I love precision. I love to make a incision with precision. That being said, I do not like circumcision. And that is a decision that I don't think should be in the hands of parents. I think that it should be banned. So. Capiche. Nietzsche says all language is an abstraction from truth attempting to be conveyed and thus a lie. I think 99.9% of people, when they use words, are not being honest. I agree with that. I think that there's a lot of limitations in our language, especially English. Right, there's a lot of limitations with language, just by default. But then also, like, let's be honest, most people are stupid. Like, you're gonna have to show me some extremely, wildly different statistics than what we're dealing with right now. And I'm going to have a significant amount of personal experience to change my mind that almost all people are dumb, especially Americans. Right? So, like, this goes back to the social media thing. Like, most people, like, in general, are reactive and not proactive. Most people are just like chemicals responding to stimuli, and that's their entire lives. They're on autopilot. You know, like in Click, the Adam Sandler movie, right? Like, he like forwards ahead of time, right? And he's just on autopilot. That's 99% of people all the time. Like, 99% of people are not in the present. They're not, like, really, like, observing what's around them. And so as a direct result, when people speak, there's a lot of, like, double speak. There's a lot of, like, you know, euphemisms and all that shit. And most of it, like, I don't think they realize it. Like, people, like, they just learn how social habits that are dumb. Like, so, you know, it's not a very well articulated point maybe, but Bodan's just mad as hell. Don't be mean. I have the right to an opinion. That's true. But yeah, I do think that most people are stupid. But that's not like a binary thing. It's not like to say that they're stupid forever. You know? No one is and no one's smart forever either. Like, there's smart people that become stupid. There are stupid people that become smart. Right? We live in a world of fluctuation, right? So I personally think it is possible to reduce the 45% that pray every day to 0. That's a goal of mine. I strive for that reality. You know, some people maybe... I had this guy, like, leave a lot of really angry comments when I was talking about how stupid religion is. And they claimed to be an atheist, but they were like, you know, you don't understand. You know, it's like, you know, I don't know. Right? People get really mad when I criticize religion. But I personally think religion and religious thinking is one of, if not the most damaging things to human society. Right? So if we can get 45% that pray every day to 0%, and if we can get 63% of Christians in this country to 0%, then society will be a lot better. Now, does that mean that atheists are automatically smarter? No. There's a lot of stupid fuck atheists, too. Like, so don't get me started on that one. Right? But I mean, like, if we can get the 95% of Americans that don't know how to eat vegetables, right, to 0%, that's good. You know, there's all these statistics that you see that are just, like, mind-boggling. Like, 20% of Americans can't name a single concentration camp. Like, there's, like, 13% of Americans, I think, that don't know who Hitler is. Muslims and Jews, I mean, I think all religion is stupid, but Christianity is the predominant one in America, so that's my main focus. I think most people need to have an ego death to realize the non-separateness of themselves and others to the world. I agree. I personally think that my first psychedelic experience, you know, basically changed my life forever. So, I agree with that. Now, would I recommend that to every person? I know that there are people that probably would not have a good experience with that for sure. But I mean, I still think about it. Like, almost, like, you know, about a year ago is when I had that first experience, and I still think about it. It's incredible. I mean, it really, like, for me, like, I experienced, like, the physical and mental sensation of dying. Like, I made peace mentally with death, right? Because when you're experiencing ego death, like, it's like millions of years are going by, right? Over the course of, like, a minute, right? So it's like you really, like, you know, your life flashes before your eyes, right? Like, you are convinced that there's no going back, that you're dead, you're in another world. It's, you know, once you come back from that, when you're back in the real world, right? You just realize how dumb most shit is. Like, you know, it's incredible. It's incredible. I mean, Like I remember I remember feeling the blood draining from my body. Like I remember like in my own brain I was like looking at my hands and arms, right? And I remember like seeing like blood through my like veins or whatever, you know, cuz I've got visible veins. I think most people do, right? And I remember like seeing the blood draining from my body, and then like I was dying, and I was like, okay, so I'm dying. I'm going to die. All right, let's make peace with that. And then I did, and then I came back. So that's pretty cool. What were I on? I did 3 grams of mushrooms on an empty stomach. I'm fine with prayer. I personally, like, it's one thing, like, I will say something like, Jesus Christ, like, just from a phraseology standpoint, right? That's fine. But to say something like, oh, Jesus, please help us, Jesus, like, and you actually expect Jesus to do anything, that's crazy. You're crazy. Right? That's just, you are crazy? I don't know how, and that doesn't mean you're crazy forever, you know, again, like, I think generally people should be in a constant, state of self-improvement. That's my opinion. A constant, like, you should be constantly improving. You should always try to improve everything around you at all times. At least that should be the general trend. Like, if you want to go and, like, drinking alcohol is unhealthy. That said, I drink alcohol a lot, especially over the holidays. Like, I was drinking almost all day, every day for like 3 days straight over the Christmas time. Right? That's bad for me. But like in the long run, like as long as I don't let that become a new normal, you know, I'm good in my opinion. And you know, you can do that with junk food, right? 95% don't eat vegetables on a daily basis. If I want to spend a couple days, like maybe, you know, gorging myself on Taco Bell and Cheetos, as long as I've got like an end date and I'm like, this is not the new normal and I want to spend some time living like the 95% for a little bit just to see how it is, that's fine. But that's the thing is like with addiction, 95% of Americans are drug addicts. That's what the fiber statistic tells me, is that 95% of Americans are drug addicts. Now, what percentage of them don't realize that? That's the thing about it. Right, because when I was a kid, and I was eating fast food and ice cream, because that's what my mom gave me, I didn't quite understand that that food was killing me. I had a lot of extreme health problems as a kid that were almost all directly related to my diet. None of the doctors involved in that, like, was like, maybe you should rethink, maybe, like, what do you feed the kid? Like, that was never a question. It was always, let's prescribe this, let's prescribe that, go buy that, go buy that. Get that drug, get that drug, get that drug. Right? So it's like, for me, the American diet, I had no, like, when I was a kid, it was normal to me. Right? And it is. 95% of Americans are drug addicts. Plain and simple. They're drug addicts. Reminder, fill out the survey, folks. Why does the food industry still produce sugary products even though they know the damage to people's health? Because it's about control. Capitalism is about control. If you can keep people... Now, again, I tell you this. If you're at a protest, I can say... This was a metric for me, right, that I had achieved. And I didn't know that I would be in these protests this year, right? But my goal was, if there was ever a protest anywhere near me, I want to be able to run from a police officer. So that's my goal. My metric was to be healthier and quicker than police officers, right? If a cop is chasing you and wants to arrest you, or even worse, wants to shoot you, will you be able to get away? If the answer is yes, that's good. If the answer is no, you're part of the 95%. Let's be honest. Right? So that alone to me, like, making people unhealthy is about control. Right? It's about making, like, and it's also, you're in the hospital a lot, giving a lot of money to the hospitals, right? You're buying the products, so you're giving money to the food industry. You're buying medicine all the time because, like, oh, I've got bad acid reflux. Should I rethink my diet? No, let's just buy some acid reflux pills, right? So you go to buy drugs. It's all a big racket. It's about control, right? And at the end of the day, what you're left with is a body destroyed by capitalism. Why was Hugo banned? What's going on? If you're an anti-vaxxer, you're an idiot. I'm sorry. Like, I have nothing for you on that one. But anyway, it's about control, right? When you are significant, like, think about diabetes, right? Like, and I'm not, to any diabetics, I'm not trying to be rude, and I apologize if I might come across this way, but I've had people say that I'm rude when I say this, so I just want to bake that in. I'm not trying. But look at, like, so, okay, 95% of Americans don't eat vegetables every day. Now, another statistic, 88% of Americans have metabolic syndrome. You might not know what that is. Basically, that is a temporary state of your body where you don't, your metabolism is slow. You ever hear the term slow metabolism? You put on weight quicker, that kind of stuff. So think of metabolic syndrome as pre-diabetes, right? So pre-diabetes is like, you're in this situation where your blood sugars are out of control, and it's like, it's not necessarily permanent. You could reverse it, but like, you need certain stuff. And then if you're diabetic, you need sugar, you need insulin. You are addicted, right? You need to have these substances in your body because your body can no longer naturally produce things, right? So 88% of Americans are pre-diabetic, which means they are literally like in a form of physical addiction. Think of it like heroin. Think of it like alcohol. They are physically addicted to sugar. 88% of Americans. So, like, why are these things commonplace and standard? It's about control. Again, 99% of people are on autopilot, right? They are reactive. They don't think. They don't have any strive for self-improvement, right? They live on a day-to-day basis. And I think that capitalism and society spawns us that way by default. I think that that's the default position of humans in society. Like, look at school. Do you learn about healthy eating in school? No. Do you learn about nutrition in school? No. Do you learn how to balance a budget in school? No. Do you learn about popular history when it comes to like socialist uprisings throughout the world? No. Do you learn about anything at all that helps you in life, in school? No. Do you know why you go to school at 6 a.m., 7 a.m.? It's because your parents need to go to work. There have been studies that said that starting schools at 8 or 9 or sometimes 10 creates a better learning environment because kids, right, are better not immediately after waking up. And then also, like, most kids will stay up late, wake up early, then they're sleep deprived. Think of it that way. Look at coffee. I'm drinking coffee right now. Look at this. I'm almost done. Coffee is one of the most addictive drugs ever. It's a highly addictive substance. Highly, highly addictive, right? But it's legal, completely legal. Even kids can get coffee. You don't need to be 18 to order a coffee. You can be 9 years old, walk up to the Starbucks counter, order a coffee, and be on your way with an extremely, highly addictive substance, and you will have no education on it. Right, so most people don't sleep properly. This is like one thing that kind of brought me into this form of thinking is I'm a lucid dreamer. I talk about this sometimes. I'm gonna do more content in relation to that too. But when you become a lucid dreamer, it's a skill you develop, and in doing so, you need to have really good sleep habits. Right? And so when I really started studying that, I realized my sleep habits are horrible. I realized my sleep habits are shit. They're shit on my shoes. Right? And so when you really study sleep, you realize, now think about this. People that work and have to get up at like 6 in the morning, right? Chances are they're not sleeping 8 hours a day, 7 hours minimum, right? And like when you're young, in my opinion, you should be sleeping more. Right, so, okay, so we're all sleep deprived as a society. And then they feed us coffee. It's in the office. It's in drive-thrus. Right? It's on your way to work. There's coffee, coffee, coffee. So sleep deprivation and coffee. Drug addiction. And sleep deprivation, literally what it does is it makes you just... Your functioning is at 70%, 60%, depending on how deprived you are. And people don't realize that. If you ask someone if they get enough sleep, will they be able to give you an actual answer? Will they know what good sleep is like? Do they teach you what good sleep is in school? In school, do they say do they tell you about sleep cycles? Do they tell you about how healthy sleep is? Do they tell you about why you need to sleep? No, they don't. So no one knows. And a lot of people, again, this goes back to the autopilot thing. A lot of people are extremely reactive, right? Because maybe they're only sleeping 5 hours a night or 6 hours a night. And that's a permanent aura of brain fog. But why do people do sleep deprivation? Well, a lot of people don't have a lot of free time, right? So let's say you're working 2 jobs, right? And like you want to watch a fucking movie. You want to live your life in some way. You know what I mean? So you're going to cut into the only thing you can cut into without losing your entire life. And that's sleep. So anyway. I talk about this, you know. This is something I talk about. These are the things that I think about. This is what's in my brain. This is what's, you know, I'm trying to think about these things. I'm always learning. I'm always trying to. But yeah, so someone asked me earlier how I feel about meditation in a secular sense. In my opinion, there's no such thing as religious meditation. If you are trying to talk to God and you're meditating, you're not meditating. I'm just going to say straight up, no, that's not meditation. Meditation is being in the present. Meditation is about self-control. It's about understanding the world around you and yourself. If you are trying to access God or something, you're not meditating. So that's my opinion. When I was doing lucid dream practices every day, when I was learning that, I would meditate for 15 minutes a night. Well, 10 to 15, you know. Sometimes, you know, I've meditated for a couple hours before, but I don't do that much anymore. But that's if I was to maximize my good healthy habits, I would be meditating at least 10 minutes a day. Anyway, folks, fill out the survey. I'm going to be promoting this survey probably for the next couple of days, too. So, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. I will see y'all tomorrow. Share the program. Tell your friend, tell your mom, tell your brother, tell your sister, tell your non-binary siblings. Say, yo, this bitch is fucking cool. Because I'm cool, let's be honest, right? Look at this, hold up. I'm cool as hell, look at this. It doesn't get this cool. Right? Like, most people are not this. Like, let's just be honest, right? Let's be rational humans, right? Most people are lame. Me? I'm not lame. I'm cool. Look at that, see? My glasses fell. I'm not even going to fix them because I don't need to. Because I'm too cool for that. Look at me. Holy shit, man. I'm cool as hell. So, tell your dog, you know? I got Max the dog here. Tell your dog. Tell your cat. Tell your grandma. And have a good day, folks. I'm cool.
No, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
You know, I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.
Dumb people, liberal people.
The world is actually a small piece of the universe, right?
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened.
That isn't what it meant.
Well, what did it mean then? Explain.
It meant that it's indicative of low-resolution thinking.
Get back in the business of creating a more peaceful world. Please clap.
And this is just the beginning of America First.